All right, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Full Send Fridays at the Racer Elite Network. Tonight I am with Russ Martin, and we're at Daytona in the trucks.
Yeah, man. Second race of the chase here for this Full Send Superspeedway series, and qualifying currently underway here. We're on board with watching Kirby Wainscott make his laps around Daytona here, but should be a fun little race here for the second race of the chase.
I think my microphone's picking up a little extra audio than it tends to in Discord. Yep. Doesn't look like we have. Oh, there we go. One more drive. And always start up. Easy time finding it. A lot of buttons. Alright, well, while they qualify, let's go ahead and take a look at our point standings. I can find everything. Not popping up.
Let's see if I can just do this the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, we might have to.
Yeah, currently, as I say, Kensley Smith is the overall points leader here for the series. Got Andrew Teft about 7 points behind him. Ryan Warp, who is currently sitting on the pole here for tonight, sitting in third. Jonathan Stidham is in fourth. Kirby Wainscott rounding out the top five. Then Blake Beacon, Joseph Bonner, Charles Joplin, Trevor Fettig, Mike Fudge, Matt Metler, Brett Bray, Aaron Roth, Steve Luttrell, Jack Kelly, Timothy Eisbrand is going to be the 16th and final driver inside the chase right here, right now. So that is the current points lineup right now looking into the night. And I am not okay, there he is. He just did not put in a qualifying effort. I was going to say, I didn't see Kensley on the board here yet, but
There we go.
he just decided to not put in a time.
And they are getting ready to grid up. All right. Taking the pole position, we got Ryan Warp in the 45. Sitting second is Blake Viken in the 18. Third place goes to Steve Sizemore in the 08. Starting fourth is Kirby Wainscott in the 10. Starting fifth is Austin Sale in the 300. Starting sixth is Richard Ode in the 78. 78, sorry. Starting seventh is Aaron Roth in the 57. Starting eighth is Joe Bonner in the 11. Starting ninth is Brett Bray in the 6. Starting 10th is Barry Nelson in the 28. 28? I thought he was in the...
Yeah, he's going to be in the 96. He just hasn't changed his number in iRacing yet.
Yeah, I was going to say, I guess maybe it wasn't updated for the super speedways. Moving on, starting 11th, we've got Truth Hoke in the 55. Starting 12th, we've got Matt Metler in the 311. And then, why have we not moved on to the next? Why is our grid not moving on to the next spot? Haven't had much of a chance to test the grid one out, unfortunately. Sorry about that.
That's all good. I mean, this kind of got thrown together really quick here, but so what do we got here? Matt Miller going to start in 12th. Robert Garcia is going to start in 13th. Alan Bergen going to be the last truck on the track to lay a qualifying time. Is going to start 14th. Then we got our list of drivers that decided to not take a qualifying effort here tonight. We got Andrew Teft going to start 15th. Troy Thomas 16th in that 88. There's our points leader Kensley Smith going to roll off in 17th in the 15. Jonathan Stidham in the 42 is going to roll off in 18th. Terry Fennell And the number 50 going to roll off 19th. Trevor Fettigan, the 711, going to round out the top 20. And the last truck is going to be on the track tonight, starting tail end of the field, the number 9 of James Foster. That is the 21 trucks who showed up here tonight for the second race of the Chase for the Races Elite Super Speedway Series at Daytona.
Were they on the second week already for the Super Speedway Series?
Yeah, last week was the first week of the series, and
they were
the second one
of
we're off.
everybody else.
Yeah, we're off next week, and then comes the interesting race. I mean, after this week, we have the week off, and then we go to the iRacing Super Speedway, which it's a track you don't normally see used in leagues much anymore, unless it's a specific league or series like this where it's just super speedways. So that ought to be a lot of fun to watch. And I think it's the Gen 4s, if I'm not mistaken. So to watch them Gen 4s rip around iRacing Super Speedway is going to be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, those Gen 4s are a monster to handle, especially on super speedways when you got someone lifting the whole back end of your car up.
100%.
All right, and we are coming out of turn 3. The lights are off on the pace truck.
Ryan Warp. That's it. Ryan Warp, Blake Viken bringing him down to the line here. Pace truck is off.
Green.
Green flag is out. We're racing here at Daytona in the trucks. You and I were talking about this before we went live. It's going to be fun to watch and see what this new aero and draft package is going to do here tonight. I mean, we were a few weeks ago we were in a different series, and we had this whole new draft package has just been so much different than what we're used to seeing at super speedways. And it's going to be interesting to see how these trucks adapt to Daytona with this new draft package.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely felt pretty different from the last time I had raced them. It had been a little bit, but weeks ago I was racing the trucks here in the Tuesday Truck Series, so definitely a lot different than I remembered feeling in terms of how the draft really pulled the truck and the kind of slingshot you could get right by it.
Yeah, I mean, you get
changed for the lead, Kirby Wainscott.
Yeah, Kirby getting a good jump there on that outside. Going to get clear of Blake Viken on the bottom. Take over the lead here. But yeah, I mean, that new draft package, it's kind of weird because it's like you get a whole different sensation to the way that you're used to running these super speedways. I mean, the side draft is so much more prevalent than what it used to be. It can really, really drag a line back if you were, right down next to the door of the truck to your inside down there. And you get a little bit of kind of aero blockish. I mean, it's really hard to explain, but I ran in the ARCA cars at Daytona a couple weeks ago in another series that I run. And it was like you were tight and loose at the same time when you were like in the middle of a pack. It was such a weird feeling to feel like you were loose and tight at the same time.
Yeah, you definitely don't tend to feel like you have a whole lot of control on what's about to happen, especially being in the middle. It's not as bad now being in the middle of pack 2 wide, but you get 3 wide, and it definitely feels like that again, where you're just kind of, you're there, you're along for the ride.
100%. Yep. It's like you're doing more driving with the throttle than you are the steering wheel.
Yeah, you're kind of just letting the truck go where it wants, and then making sure you're not running into anybody.
Yep, exactly. It looks like Richard Ode there on that top side with a push from Joe Bonner going to take over the lead. Now he's going to slide up to a third lane and get hung out to dry.
Yeah, I wonder if he did that on purpose because he doesn't want to be one of the lead trucks right now.
Could very well be. I mean, it's usually a strategy we see play out because the trucks that are leading the pack are obviously going to get worse fuel mileage than the trucks behind them or even 2 behind them. So got the lap lead. Now kind of fall in line and do a little fuel conservation.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to. Don't really want to be the one out there leading the entire race because, like we said, hard to save fuel. And at the end of the day, the longer you're out front, the sooner you're gonna have to pit compared to everybody else.
Yeah, I think the average is about like a 3 to 5 lap difference with being the leader of a line versus being, you know, the second or third driver in line. It's very prevalent, very noticeable.
Yeah, it's very noticeable. One thing I would like to point out is we got Joseph Bonner up here working the top line, leading them against his best friend Kirby Wainscott down there below and leading the bottom line. Interesting.
Yeah, we're kind of used to
how hard
they
these
kind
two
of used
will drive each other tonight.
Oh, yeah, you about got your answer right there.
Late drop down there, almost spun himself out. Kirby was willing to be pretty forgiving in that aspect.
Yeah, he burped it just a little bit there, but they're used to seeing Joe causing all kinds of chaos in our demolition races, and here he is now out leading Daytona in the trucks.
Yeah, he doesn't get to shine in the spotlight up out front very often. He doesn't tend to have the best luck, especially on these super speedways. He always seems to get tied up in something. I get the ability to race with him quite a bit. You know, we're teammates. I
would say that that 96 up there on the outside, he's another one. You know, Barry Nelson. He not one that you usually see up fighting for the lead. You know, in certain tracks, but here he is up there on that outside trying to get a little bit of help. That bottom line is really getting a solid run right now. It's starting to kind of freight train that top line a little bit.
Really cool way. It looks like the front three trucks are staying pretty close together, but the rest of the line's kind of faded out from the line. Big time.
Yeah, those three trucks are Barry, Metler, and is that Aaron Roth? Behind Metler, they need to kind of get tightened up a little bit. Maybe come down and side grab that bottom line just a little bit and get that outside lane moving again here.
Yeah, they eat that side draft up. They love it. I mean, you can kind of hold your own on the outside line. If you get the right side draft, you can kind of stick to someone's outside a bit in these trucks. A little harder to do in some of the other cars. The trucks, it works really well.
And now we see Steve Sizemore coming up there. Saw Aaron Roth dip down to the inside. Now Steve Sizemore to the back bumper to Matt Metler. Matt kind of bobbing and weaving here just a little bit. I mean, kind of hold a little bit of a tighter line. And now Steve Sizemore is going to leave them hanging. Top line just not tight, just kind of bobbing and weaving a little bit. Not able to hold a really steady line, and that's going to hurt them.
Yeah, they're slowly losing more and more ground, especially with everyone jumping out of the lines. So Sizemore.
Sizemore back though. Yeah, they're okay with being up there. They just wanted to be up ahead of Barry.
Yeah. I mean, I can't blame them because if anyone was really paying attention, there was a money race we had not super long ago. It wasn't the most recent one, but I want to say it was about 2 months ago. Actually, I think it was the Memorial race that we had. Barry was doing very well. He was very aggressive with his pushes, but if you got in front of him and he was pushing you on that outside line, you were almost guaranteed for him to take you to the lead.
Yeah. I would say Steve Sizemore is kind of doing that with the 6, but now the 6 going up and Barry giving Sizemore a heck of a shot, forcing a 3-wide issue right there.
We're getting pretty crazy pretty early in this race, about 80 laps.
Yeah, I kept seeing Sizemore giving the 6 there a couple of bumps, but every time he did, it looked like the 6 would drift up the track and open up like that middle lane. And
Sizemore finally took advantage.
Steve would, I was gonna say Steve kind of would back off and let the 6 back down, but Barry said, "All right, enough of that. I'm going to give you a shot. I'm going to force you to go 3 wide here."
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately for the 6, I mean, when you pop out a line that far and you're kind of dragging that top line up and down the track like that, all it does is hurt the draft. Yeah, all that momentum you build up, you can end up kind of just giving it away when you move around too much. So I can't really blame them for forcing them out of line and trying to get this top line rolling again.
See Lori out there in the chat saying it's a little hard to hear us up here in the booth. Maybe try
Alrighty.
turning us
Let
up just a little bit. How you doing, Lori? Welcome in. Thanks for
No.
popping in and showing the love to your brothers.
Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to bring up the ugly menu real quick. I'm gonna turn down the audio for iRacing. Couldn't quite get my audios to separate. Or I could just one or the other. I can turn
Lori,
my
let's try
microphone
that.
up a tad bit also if I'm a little quiet.
I would say
And
just
let me know
keep
how
us
that sounds.
keep us informed there, Lori, on how we're sounding, and Josh will keep adjusting as we go.
Yeah, I gotta get everything dialed in. It's the first time I've had to. I say had as if I didn't have a choice. It's the first time I've been producing any of the races.
Breaking the proverbial producing cherry here tonight. So
Yeah, pretty much.
gotta get things dialed in.
You okay?
Joe Bonner continuing the lead, getting bumps from Kirby there in second, holding this bottom line strong.
Need a sip of water? You okay? Did you swallow spit wrong again? Yeah, you did.
She's saying you're very soft spoken there, Josh.
Yeah, my microphone is tuned really, really specifically, so it's kind of weird versus how it sounds in Discord, and then going to having it go through OBS instead of Discord. It's a little bit of adjusting. Let me pop mine up just a tad bit more. Oh, you know what? I muted myself in Discord while I was asking my girlfriend if she was okay, but I think I didn't mute myself in OBS. Not a huge deal. Good now? Need some water?
This top line here is trying to make something happen. Got Steve Sizemore up there in that 08, trying to make something work. He's got who is I don't see a 3 on my list, unless it's Austin Sale, the 300 right behind him, giving him a push. That's the only thing I can think of.
Let's take a look real quick.
And we got Barry Nelson.
It looks as though the 3 is Austin Sale. It is indeed.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah, okay. Yep. I was gonna say the only thing that makes sense because I don't see a 3 on my list, but I see a 300.
Yep. I was gonna say we can check it real quick. We can find that out. So he's listed as 300, but he is the 3 truck tonight.
I need to adjust my audio for the voice chat in game because they are quite loud and overpowering.
Yeah, I disabled it on my end so that way they didn't hear.
I usually do. Yeah, I used to myself, but I like hearing when they're calling out that they're pitting, or if Truth decides he wants to get a little feisty on the radio, I like to hear that and laugh about it.
Oh, definitely. That's the one thing I do like about being the commentator instead of the producer is I get to hear all their communication while they're out on track.
Yeah, exactly.
But sometimes they can be a little much for being on the live end.
Yeah.
Sizemore dropped down in front of the 11 there, and Kirby Wainscott made his way around the 11 also. Now that top line is fading a little bit again. I don't know who that was. They definitely scared somebody. It was a 45 of Ryan Warp. Came a little higher out of line than I think the 3 of Austin Sale was expecting.
Yeah, kind of made him jump a little bit up the track and made Barry jump too, I think.
Yeah, they all kind of looked like they scrambled for a second. I thought we were going to get our first piece of action tonight.
Well, we got one down there on the apron, deciding it's not worth it right now.
Not sure who that was. I think they might have caught a little bit of a bad bump or maybe just a little too much draft and opted to take themselves down the track instead of running in and causing some problems.
Yeah, I think that was Jonathan Stidham there in the
Oh yeah, he is in a green.
that mocked up Cletus McFarland ARCA car for this weekend at Talladega. He's got the the Kirby Wainscott upside down.
Oh,
big wreck in the
my.
front of the field. Kirby's still flipping. He's up on top of the 18.
We've got
Blake Viken. Oh
quite
my
a
gosh.
lot involved in that one.
Yeah, about half, three-quarter, or the entire field, one or the other.
We're going to have to go back and take a look at that because that was pretty insane, and that unfolded rather quickly. Just trying to get us a good camera angle to check out John's new paint scheme that he had tonight. And everyone else decided, ooh.
Oh, it looks like Steve Sizemore in the 8 went up the track, maybe got loose, little arrow loose, come back down to the quarter of Kirby and just hooked him.
Take us backward, grab a new angle. Here we go.
Gives Kirby a little bit of a shot here. Moves
Looks
up.
like he goes to take the run that he gets.
Yeah, he's a little loose right there, it looks like, and just tagged that right rear quarter of Kirby, and Kirby said, I believe I can fly. I think he said that multiple times across the different series this season, but Kirby going for a wild ride here.
The 11 of Joe Bonner gets just around all the chaos as it unfolds. Man, he is going for a ride. We got a lot
Mountain Blake Viken there
of people involved in this wreck. A lot of fast repairs getting used up early tonight.
Yeah, I think I counted. I mean, I can't tell from the ones that went to the apron, but I only saw, I think, 5 cars get by on the top side clean.
Yeah, that was quite the wreck. Just as we were talking about getting some action up here tonight.
Yeah, you spoke it into existence.
Yep. I apologize to everyone involved in that one. Did not mean to give you guys a commentator curse tonight.
I was just going to say, welcome to the commentator curse club, my friend.
And just as expected, just about everybody looks like they're going to make their way down pit road. I see Robert Garcia's opting to stay out.
Hey, Lori, if you're still out there in YouTube land, can you give us an update on how Josh sounds, please? If he sounds any better, he turned his mic up, I believe. So I'm just looking to make sure he sounds fine, or if he still needs to increase his volume a little bit.
Make sure I didn't turn it up too much also.
Yeah, turn it up too much and blow your eardrums out.
My microphone is oddly sensitive. It's not the most fancy microphone. It is a nice podcast mic, or at least it used to be. It's a Yeti Nano. Picked it up like 8 years ago. Got the whole little boom arm set up and everything.
Yeah, I just use my headset. I don't have a fancy mic. I just use my headset.
I wanted to get into live streaming when I was younger. I haven't streamed in a little bit now, but I was streaming for quite a while. It was one of the reasons I ended up picking one of these up.
Gotcha. Says you're still a little quiet.
Still a little quiet.
Still a little quiet.
Might just need to start projecting my voice a little better. Pop it up just a tiny bit. That should definitely help at least a little bit. It looks like Robert Garcia is going to be the only one that opts to stay out on this pit cycle. He's got about 20 laps on his fuel tank, so with the amount of fuel they run on Superspeedways, I want to say he's got about 15 to 20 more laps.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I wanted to say a fuel run is somewhere around the 30 to 33, 32, 33-ish.
Yeah, I can't remember if the trucks get 30 or 40, but I know they're somewhere in between that 10-lap range. I know it's not a
Yeah,
very
somewhere in
precise
there.
one, but
Hey, we got a thumbs up from Lori, so
all
I
right,
guess you're
awesome.
sounding good now.
There we go.
Thank you, Lori. Appreciate it.
Getting everything situated, everything figured out. So I'm curious. Looks like a couple people opted to stay on pit road longer, so they might not have had as much damage as we initially expected. Blake is going to make a second run into the pits, maybe opt to use his fast repair, maybe more damage than he thought he had.
Yeah, we're 20 laps in. We still got 60 to go. I mean, you might as well if you've got, say, like 2 minutes worth of damage, 3 minutes worth of damage, even I would say, try to just get it, done as much as you can, and then save that fast repair for when people get really erratic with about 5 to 7 to go.
Yeah, once you're within that, like, I would say even 15 laps to go, once you're within that range, any damage you get
Yep.
then, you want to use that fast repair because it's no secret everyone gets a little crazier at the end of the race, but these guys
Yeah,
are
exactly.
usually pretty clean, so you're definitely gambling if you're expecting another caution within that 15 lap to go period.
Yep. But at that point, you've turned enough laps. Hey, if you get wrecked, you get wrecked. That happens. But lights are off on the iRacing pace truck. Looks like Robert Garcia and Joe Bonner are going to bring us back to green flag racing here at about lap 22 when we go back green. So pace truck going to peel off here, and Robert Garcia going to look for that restart zone. He's going to have control, and we are back to green flag racing.
He's got quite a jump there on that top line. Oh, Joseph Bonner and the 78 of Richard Ode pulled away even from the top line too, so quite a good jump by the few of these guys.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it looks really kind of a scattered restart right there. It looks like, a lot of guys didn't get going, other guys got going pretty good. Kind of broke the lines up quite a bit.
Yeah, definitely a lot more scattered than it usually is here at these super speedways. Got to flick through just to get an idea on how far everybody was from each other. Everyone's kind of grouping back up now. Man, I mean, Joe's having a pretty incredible night tonight. He's been out front the entire time. He doesn't usually get that luxury here. I don't get to watch him much on Fridays, but every time I've raced with him at the super speedways, I know he doesn't unfortunately have the best luck.
Yeah, he watch it. Oh, Truth! Hold on to it, Truth!
Oh, and they're wrecking behind Andrew.
Sector.
Looks like Barry Nelson, maybe Jonathan Stidham caught. Yeah, he got a little bit of that one again.
Jonathan Stidham got a little bit. Looks like
Barry definitely took a decent hit there.
Troy Thomas.
Yeah, Troy doesn't look like he's too beat up. He might. Yeah, he's got a little bit there on his front left fender. Looks a little dented in. Wheel doesn't look too messed up, so hopefully he got away with no wheel damage there. All right, let's go take a little bit of a look back at that one while these guys get all situated.
I'm going to go ahead and just mute. I'm just going to go ahead and mute this voice chat in game because they are yapping up a storm, and my ADHD will not allow me to compute what everybody's saying.
Getting a little hard to follow everything that's going on.
Yeah, exactly. While I like listening to it, when you've got about 7 drivers trying to talk over each other and they're trying to listen to what everybody's saying on top of, what you're what you're saying. Yeah, it's still difficult.
Looks like everything starts. Andrew
gives a bump or he said he gave him a bad bump and he apologized for it, but then it looks like that kind of stacks things up just a little bit and
just enough to cause a bit of a problem.
It looks like Terry Fennell in the 50.
Oh, I see.
Checked up for that and then got hit by Jonathan Stidham and
Let me go
went up
back
into Troy
again a little
Thomas.
further for you. I see exactly what happened. I see what caused this. So we're gonna take a ride, not with Truth, but 13. So Garcia got maybe checked up from Bonner coming out of there. Oh, I'm way too far back. Letting it go too quickly. Forgot to hit my quarter speed button there. Not far enough. Thankfully, Superspeedway cautions take forever.
Oh yeah, we always have plenty of time to analyze these cautions.
So, Truth gets bumped out, stacks up the rest of the bottom. Ooh, Stidham got right into the back of the 50 super hard there, which unfortunately sent Troy Thomas and Terry Fennell into the wall. They tag Brett Bray, 96 of Barry Nelson, 08 of Steve Sizemore. Ooh, quite the wreck.
I tell you what, most of those guys were involved in that last caution. So if they didn't have damage, they didn't have a lot of damage from that first caution. I'm sure they got enough added to them from this one here to make a difference.
Let's take a ride with Barry Nelson because he's kind of right in the middle of all of this. Oh, just kind of not really anywhere to go there. He's got someone on his right, someone on his left. Well, cars are going up to the right, so he wants to go down left. Just nowhere to go. Nowhere to go. Man. Definitely an unfortunate night for a couple of these guys. Hopefully, no one's too damaged. Get back out there and keep racing. Let me take us back alive. Let's see who all pit, who all stayed out. If I can find my numbers here. Looks like Aaron Roth definitely stayed out. He was up near the front to start. Oh, here we go. We got a few people coming back down pit road now. Just Bonner, Truth Oak. Looks like Trevor Fettig stayed on pit road. Terry Fennell and Steve Sizemore are still on pit road from the initial entry. They are being scored a lap down now. Looks like Barry Nelson might not have had to use his fast repair, or he just used it this time. He was pretty beat up.
Yeah, he had a couple of. Man, he was involved in that first one too, but not sure that he had all that much damage, where he
Looks
wouldn't
like-
be able to, to just get some of the damage repaired. I mean, Troy looks like he's still got some significant damage.
Yeah, he's definitely still dented up, so he did not use his fast repair, or he used it already, because I think he was involved in that first wreck also. There was only a couple of trucks that got by that first wreck.
Yeah, Troy was definitely involved in the first one too there. So, yeah, either they burned him up in that first one, or they're still just, a couple of minutes of damage, and they're just going to keep fixing it as the race goes on and save the fast repair till the end.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't hurt to save it, as long as you can still race.
Yeah, as long as the steering wheel is not too far left or right to where it's oddly uncomfortable for you to drive it, absolutely.
And Aaron Roth and James Foster will bring us to the green. Kinsley Smith, for the first time tonight, not seeing him in a Napa-branded NASCAR truck or car. He's rocking Home Depot.
Yeah, kind of weird. Kind of weird.
All right, cool. I was trying to make sure my microphone wasn't picking up any background audio there. Oh, decent bit of separation after this first lap all the way towards the back of the pack here. Not really sure what happened. I didn't catch it.
Bet you those are all damaged cars back there.
Yeah, it looks like it, 'cause you got the 88, you got the 42,
88, 42,
96,
96,
and the 55.
Yep, yep. All damaged cars that are going as fast as they possibly can go, but ain't fast enough to keep up with the other pack. I mean, they're catching back though. They're staying with the draft a little bit. They're getting single filed out here, so they might be able to hang on to the back of this thing.
They're definitely still within racing distance, so might just be losing just
I don't have any
enough.
damage. I'm making my own moves here.
I do see that Joseph Bonner is in the pits, and I'm not too sure why. Not too sure what happened to him. He wasn't involved in that wreck from what I saw, because he was just in front of all the chaos that ensued.
Unless he got a penalty or something that required him to come back down pit road, but usually that's a pass through on the green, not like a hold or anything. But
however, I will say some holds he could have gotten a speeding hold. Could have been speeding after he made his pit stop, and then you're gonna have to come back in and serve it on the green and hold.
Yeah, that's
you
true.
Can get lucky if you speed before you get to your pit box. It'll hold you once you do your pit stop. So, curious if maybe he just accidentally been coming off a pit road during that pit cycle there.
Road.
Or if he took an unsafe exit, maybe accidentally brushed up above that double yellow line.
Double yellow, yeah. Definite possibility.
Because he did restart with the pack, if I'm not mistaken. I thought I saw him out there. Unless I was looking at the wrong truck, which is also a possibility. I tend to do that.
Andrew Teff just got a heck of a run there on the bottom. Decided to take it to the top side. Not much happening on that top side right now, but now we're starting to get a couple of trucks looking up there, trying to maybe form up a second line. They were really broken up on that top side for quite a little bit after the restart here, but now it looks like we got Richard Ode, Andrew Teff, Matt Mettler starting to try to make something happen on that outside.
Yeah, it looks like they're trying to come together and make something work. Yeah, the top
a lot
line
out of that top lane so far tonight.
Yeah, it's been pretty inconsistent. For one run, it was running really, really well. Looks like Kinsley Smith's going to join him. He really wants to lead this race tonight.
Well, coming in as our points leader, he definitely wants the bonus point for leading the lap. Every point matters.
Yes, it does, especially once you start the chase. You are uncomfortably close to the rest of the people you are racing with for that championship.
Absolutely. So he's going to get his bonus point for leading the lap. Now we'll see what he does.
Looks like Andrew Teff is going to stay with the top line there. He definitely looked as though he contemplated popping back down to the bottom. I think staying with the top lane, since it was still pretty formed, was a good call. Get him a nice shot to finally get out to the lead.
Yeah, starting to make a little move now. Andrew up side by side with Richard Ode. But was that double zero? Alan Bergen.
Double zero popped out of line.
Getting up out of line. That's going to break that top lane up a little bit again. Break that momentum.
Make it hard for the 98 of Andrew Teff and the 311 of Matt Mettler to keep a run going if they can't make a move here soon.
Andrew's not going to stop trying. He's there. I think he might have got the lap that time.
I believe he did.
These guys are still 3 wide back here. Almost
Oh, yeah.
disaster with the 42 and the 00.
Let's take a look at that for a minute and maybe catch something unfold in real time this time.
Yeah, 42 is moving around. That's what we were talking about earlier with this new draft package. If you're stuck in that middle, man, you are getting just pulled from side to side, and it is not a fun ride. You're holding on for dear life at that point.
Yeah, these trucks do not like the uncomfortable air very much on these super speedways. Looks like you're finally gonna get settled and bring it back.
And then True's gonna say, "Okay, I'll go 3 wide now." No, Mike's gonna pull down in front of him and
he was going to
prevent that from happening. He was thinking about it. He was thinking about it.
Can't blame him, especially when you're running super high up in the corners like that. You're leaving the door open for anyone and everyone to make a move. They got the speed.
Absolutely.
Whoa.
Oh, I was just
Lap
gonna say,
car
what the heck
of,
was happening? But that was Terry Fennell.
Yeah, Terry Fennell. I guess he
No.
finally lost his draft there. And they just caught up to him. That is always disastrous when you got 2 lines racing real hard and you got a lap car coming up, making everything 3 wide, even if just for a moment.
I know Terry was extended down there on pit road, so he may have just come out of pit road within the last lap or two, and
yeah,
Field
I
just kind
think
of caught
he
him right there.
did.
He's now being shown 8 laps down, so
Yeah, he definitely stayed out. Steve Sizemore, speaking of which,
you know what?
really
I think something actually
he's still.
I think something actually happened.
Road.
I think something actually happened to Terry because it said that he manually disconnected and then reconnected. So I wonder if he got the boot. That could possibly be what happened.
Unfortunately, it looks like he's going to be just far enough not to pick up the draft and at least stay the 8 laps down. Oh, I could be wrong. He's a little closer than it looked like he was. He's on that threshold.
He's on the edge of it, yeah. He's on the edge of it, yeah.
Don't want to spend too much time not looking at this battle for the lead. We got Andrew Teft and Kensley Smith constantly trading lap after lap for the lead.
Andrew and Mettler up there still trying to make something happen, bringing that Tina Garcia, trying to bring him into it.
I'll tell you what, they are making it work for really only being 2 trucks with the occasional help when the line forms back up. With a,
Andrew.
Oh no, Kirby Wainscott
go
again.
Oh, he
almost in the air.
Again. And the yellow finally comes out. I was gonna say, are we not gonna get a yellow for that? But we do. We do now.
Let's we didn't get to take a ride with Kirby on his initial attempt at being an airplane tonight. Why don't we do that this time? 'Cause that looked like a wild ride.
I thought he was gonna go again. I go, geez, man.
Do the cockpit camera this time. Helmet cam. Just watch everything unfold. Looks like Mettler gets into the back bumper a little too hard as that 98's a little unsettled coming out of the corners. Oh, he didn't even see it coming. That's
got blindsided. He saw it happening and went to the bottom to avoid it, but still got clobbered.
And then unfortunately, after almost making it by, sliding up, finally gets tagged by what looks like the 7-Eleven truck. Yep. Oh. Worst part is that 711 truck would have cleared him, but it looks like he locked up his brakes in panic and slid right down on the side of the 10.
I was going to say, it's either he locked up the brakes in panic or he saw Kirby coming and thought he was going to come all the way back up, so he tried to juke to the bottom to avoid it, but didn't time it. Didn't have enough time.
Yeah, we can find out here by taking a little bit of a ride right before him and Kirby get together. Looked like his tires locked up. Yep. Just slides right into him.
Try to get on the binders. And
Yeah, look, I mean, like you said, from his
like you
position, it
said,
definitely looked like Kirby was going to keep sliding further up.
yeah,
So,
yep.
definitely
Got on the binders and got
unfortunate.
on there a little too hard and locked them up. And yeah, if he would have just stayed in it, I think he would have been fine.
Yeah. Yeah, Kirby was finally just about to come to a stop, and that was quite a hit. Those are sometimes the worst hits where you think you're fine, you're clear, you made it right past the wreck, and then someone shoots down from the wall and just flips the back end.
Yep.
Next thing you know, you're flying.
I had that happen in officials in the trucks at Talladega. Just a couple weeks ago. Riding along on the bottom, running like fifth, sixth. Never even seen the accident happening like beside me, and just get T-boned from a guy on the outside, and all of a sudden I just air up and over and barrel rolling.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how fast that can happen here. It looks like the 11 is going to get his lap back.
Didn't even see the accident happening. Who hit me? What happened? All I know is all of a sudden I just got hooked right. I go airborne, and now I'm barrel rolling.
Yeah, it happens fast at these super speedways.
It sure does.
Andrew Teft got the end of the line. I'm curious if he asked for that. Maybe he still got a little bit of damage because he was involved in the first incident of this race. I don't think he was to blame for that incident, though I didn't look very closely. I could be wrong about that, but it looked like he might have just got on a bad bump when he was struck was a little upset coming out of the corner.
Yeah, I was gonna say unless there wasn't actually contact, and he just ended up one of those arrow loose things that is known to happen with this new draft package.
Yeah, and it definitely happens with the truck.
Yeah, I mean, he may have just gotten arrow loose, from Mettler there in that 311, and
that's definitely the worst way to catch your first incident of the night.
Yeah.
No contact from anyone, but just getting loose from the bad air on that spoiler. Does look like Terry Fennell is going to get one of his laps back on the free pass here. He stayed out. He is in front of the leaders. Yep, there's his wave around.
Attaboy, Terry. Only 7 more cautions to go, buddy.
Hey, and at super speedways, you never know.
You never know. That's exactly it. Yeah, you never know.
Not come back fully, but I think I came all the way back to the lead lap. It was during the memorial race. I was racing with Bonner. We were working together pretty well. Worked our way through the pack a few times. I was down a few laps. He was down 3, and I got him back on the lead lap. And I think right up at the end, with like probably 20 laps to go, I think I ended up on the lead lap, and then I lost my laps again. I think I got into another incident, and it just ended my race. Or I got into an incident, lost a lap, fixing damage, and I got into another one. Something like I know. I was on and off the wall all night that night. It was a long race for me. Fun nonetheless. It looks like Richard Ode and Kensley Smith will be bringing us to the green flag. Richard Ode, I believe, won the race off of pit road. I think Kensley Smith was our leader going into the pits.
Yeah, we take the green flag. We'll be right at the halfway point. 40 down, 40 to go.
Either be the fastest 40 laps of the night, or it could be the longest. Already
exactly.
Had quite a few mishaps. But sometimes they wreck a few times, and then that's it. I've had a couple races where someone. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it's like they get tired of wrecking and just say, okay, we're just gonna run single file here until about 5 to go.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've had some races even with the Gen 4s or You know, the trucks where someone will spin out early on in the race, and then that'll be the only caution, and it'll be like 5 or 10 laps into the race, and then that's it. And then it's just green the rest of the way.
Yep.
Hensley
Well, that bottom line
Smith
had a
was-
heck of a checkup back there with about the 300 of Austin Saley on
Yeah,
that start. Kind of broke the bottom lane up just a little bit here, but
Yeah, both
like
lanes.
again, both lanes. I was just gonna say, listen
Both
again, like
lanes.
both lanes have kind of broken up there.
Just kind of lost the rest of the pack, and Hensley Smith, Ryan Warp, Aaron Roth, and Richard Ode just kind of took off all on their own. Barry Nelson already working his way back up into the top 5.
See somebody blinking there. Is that Truth in the 55? Blinking just
Truth
a
in
little
the
bit.
55s up here. For a couple of cars that have had some very unfortunate luck tonight being involved in just about every single wreck that has happened. It's got to feel good to be
Steve-
on the lead lap back in the top 5.
Yeah, what happened to Steve Sizemore? I see he just got a meatball.
Yeah, I just saw that pop up. We're going to have to take a look. I'm curious if maybe he left the pits.
I was just, well, I was say, or has he been sitting on pit road and left the truck running and it just blew up?
Yeah, I think that might have been what happened. Because right here, we're going to watch him come by at the restart. He never left pit road.
Never left pit road.
I think his truck was sitting there idle, and
Are
I
you-
think he blew up. He might have stepped away while getting repaired.
Could very well be. I've seen drivers do that. They'll come in, I've got 10 minutes of damage. I'm going to step away, not shut the truck off, and then boom.
Yep.
Well, now your race is over. I mean, unless he still has suspension, which apparently, I mean, he wouldn't because he wouldn't be sitting there that long.
Yeah, I mean, unless he was really taking the chance, but I can't imagine he'd be willing to take that many laps down of a chance.
I would say, let me see what. Yeah, I mean, he's 18 laps behind, so he's been sitting there for a while.
Yeah, he was there since the wreck
Well,
where
the second incident there.
yeah, the wreck where Truth got bumped and went down into the apron off by himself, and then
Yeah.
everyone in the back just started spinning.
Yeah.
Feels like that was quite a while ago. Hensley Smith did finally assume the race lead in a comfortable position with everyone single file behind him all the way back to Double O, even Troy Thomas. It looks like the 3 of Austin Sales finally gonna jump to the outside, maybe look for one spot or hope that he has some help. Doesn't look like he's quite getting either of the 2. I stand corrected.
you see
Here
how
comes the
he's-
cavalry.
Well, I was just gonna say, but yet, you can see how long he was able to hang right on the side of Truth Oak there in that 55 on the bottom, just by doing that side draft. And then once he pulls up and off, now he's falling back. But
Yeah, that
he
side
was
draft
able to
will-
stay right on that. I would say he was able to stay right on that side panel of Truth for quite a while as a single truck up there on that top side.
Yeah, that side draft will pretty much keep you with whatever truck you're right next to, but you have to stay there.
Yep. As soon as he came up off is when he fell back.
Now that front pack is starting to create a little bit of distance after that little hiccup between the 3 and the Double O. Getting a little shaky there. Well, the 3 lost a lot of ground waiting for the rest of the pack to catch up to him on the top line. But Double O kind of bobbled a little bit on the apron. It looked like he maybe just got a little loose there.
Yeah, I was saying now Mikey Allen going to get right back to the back bumper to 55, so now this bottom lane going to extend to even more now. Top 6 did break away just a little bit there, but now that bottom lane single filing out on that little second pack, now able to catch right back up to the draft here.
Yeah, it looks like they're working their way back up the side of that bottom line just a little bit. I think they're going to need a little bit more help, though, if they want to make any more ground up than than they've got currently.
Yeah, I mean, we just got the 3 trucks there on that outside. Was at the 6 of Bray.
Oh,
Couldn't tell who else was back there, but
yeah, I couldn't
trying to
quite
get
see
some
the
more.
numbers. I see the 6 of Bray, the
Oh,
9
okay, it's a
of
9.
James Foster,
James Foster, yeah.
and I think
Now we got Barry
the
Nelson.
13 of Robert Garcia.
Yeah, I was saying now we got Truth, Barry, Troy, Andrew, trying to make a second lane work, breaking up that bottom lane now.
Broke him up big time, and it pulled the rest of that top lane that Brett was leading right to the bumper of Andrew Teft.
Yeah. So now the top 4 have kind of broken away a little bit again because, again, we're back to side-by-side racing back here.
The 78 of Richard Ode's kind of stuck in that weird little no man's
little bubble.
land where he's
that little bubble between the 2 packs.
yeah, not quite enough draft to pull himself back to the top 3 there, but still fast enough that he's gonna pull everyone else back up, and everyone should reform by the end of this lap. That gap is definitely closing a little bit. It's not closing very quickly though.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, Richard Ode is still just kind of stuck in that bubble. He's starting to get to the back bumper of who's that? The 50 Aaron Roth. Yeah, he's starting to get back to the back bumper of Aaron Roth. So got back to that front 4, but again, there's still that little bit of gap between those front 4 and that second group that's kind of side by side. Now I'm seeing Mikey Allen in the 18 and Blake Beacon coming right back to the back bumper of Richard Ode now. So now they're starting to make a little bit of a charge back.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, the double O is right on the back bumper of Ode.
Now Truth Oak, Barry Nelson, Troy Thomas, again, had a pretty good run going on that top side. Stalled out just a little bit, but they're still trying to make something happen here.
Yeah,
Truth
I think
side drafted the crap out of the 18.
yeah, he's got to do it. That's what's going to pull that whole line forward. I think what really hurt him was when the double O got a little too separated from the cars in front, and there wasn't much extra side draft from anyone in front of the car who was side drafting to kind of pull him forward.
Yeah. Yep.
Because I'll tell you what, there's been a couple of times where I've really pulled myself up a couple of spots side drafting, even if by myself. If you can get real tight to the door of that car below you, and they're all stacked up pretty neat, pretty straight, and pretty close, it'll start to kind of pull you forward too. And the best part about it is you got no one in front of you to stop you.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only thorn in the side of Truth, Barry, and Troy right now is that double zero, because I mean he's not really holding a solid line. He keeps washing up the track in the corners, and it's causing them guys to kind of get a little bit of cattywampus. As now we see the 55 getting a little off kilter. So I mean that double zero that, you know, not really able to hold that yellow line, keeps washing up, keeps throwing that outside line off just a little bit. Now we've got a break between the pack again.
Yeah, we'll have to see if the 3 can catch back up to the back bumper of the 18 there. He looks like he's close enough. He definitely should. Looks like Barry might be pushing a little harder than he needs to in the corners. He's definitely upsetting the rear end of that 55 truck.
Yeah, the sad part is those 3 drivers, the 55, 96, and 88, are all teammates.
Yeah. Man, I don't want to be in that call.
Yeah.
No, they're all pretty
probably saying,
pretty cool
Drew's
guys.
probably saying, push me, Barry, push me. Okay, don't push me that hard, Barry.
I would almost bet that those are the exact words. And the 3 of them are kind of just hanging up there together. Just Bonner's going to pop up there and join them. Maybe try to get this top line moving again.
All by themselves, but now, yeah, Bonner getting up there now.
Oh,
I said just have not just Truth. Yeah, say
linked
Truth
out
just
for a
won
moment.
big
That's
time.
who I was following.
I say all night long, this outside line just it looks like they start to make a little bit of headway and then it just falls off. Like I haven't seen a lot of momentum, strong momentum out of the outside line at all tonight.
No, and I think like you said, the biggest reason we're not seeing it right now with the drivers that are up there, because they are all pretty experienced with these super speedways, was due to
Yeah,
that double O
absolutely.
just kind of washing up a little bit and kind of, you know, accidentally almost giving Truth the door a few times.
Yep. So
Might
there's gonna
not
come a
know it,
time
but
where
he is
well, I
being
was gonna say there's
Kensley's
gonna.
hero
I
right
was
now.
just seeing. I was just gonna say there's gonna come a time where Truth's gonna get a little bit tired of it,
Oh no!
and now he's gonna get hooked by the double zero and a big wreck.
Oh,
And, I
unfortunate
was
night
just
for
gonna say
quite
there's
a
gonna
few
come a
drivers
time.
there.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's gonna come a time where Truth was not gonna let the double zero keep coming up like that. And when he did, he hooked the 55 right over the bumper.
Yeah, it looked like after kind of dooring each other a little bit there, Truth might have just. Let me see if I can get a little closer here.
A little bit
Oh
of
yeah,
net
the
code that has to do with
double.
that, but you can see the double zero coming up off of that yellow line again, quite
Yep,
a bit right there.
a little too far.
Yep. And then I mean, there was a little bit of net code in that. I can see that, but it was a matter of time. It was just a matter of time. I kept seeing the double zero doing that, and I knew there was going to come a time where Truth was going to stop going up the track
To give him that
to give that
space.
extra space. Yeah, to give that extra space, and that was it right there. And pretty sure the double zero almost goes over if he doesn't, but he
Yeah,
went
he
airborne
definitely
here.
goes up.
No, he didn't go
Two
over, but
wheeling it
he
for a minute.
two wheeling it. Yeah. See Joe
Unfortunately, the
Bonner
11
involved.
is. Oh, he's got some
Blake
pretty
Beacon,
major wheel damage there too.
Kirby. Wow.
We're gonna have to
I
take
want
an
to go
on
back.
bird with that.
I would say I want to go back and look at the onboard of Kirby Wayscott because I'm sure that driver right there is going to need a fresh fire suit after that because his night was about to be over with again after those two incidents that he was involved in, going upside down and almost going upside down again.
Kirby's just kind of hanging out, taking his time. Chaos unfolds.
And the seas just
Oh,
kind of. Oh!
just a little bump and brush there on the 11.
Yeah, just a little scrape of the paint is all.
Man, talk about right place, right time.
Man, Kirby's gone through it tonight, man. Kirby has gone through it tonight.
Yeah, he has.
And upside
So
down, almost upside down again. Now he almost the meat and the sandwich between two other trucks. Man,
fortunately, it looks like the 88 of Troy Thomas is smoking, and I think he did already use his fast repair. So that might be the end of the night for the 88.
yeah, we'll have to see.
Pop back live here because everybody's on pit road from the looks of. Oh, the 11 is out. The 11 just making his way to pit road, or did he? He was involved in the incident. He might not have been quite caught up yet. Yeah, I see the fire. He just wasn't quite there yet. Ryan Warp is going to lead them off of pit road, followed by Kensley Smith, Richard Ode, Aaron Roth, and Barry Nelson taking the top 5. I think all 5 of which were top 5 right before the caution.
I'm trying to see here. I believe this is probably going to be the final pit stop that we see drivers making tonight. 'Cause we're gonna go back to green flag racing with about what 22, 23 to go.
We're on lap 55.
Yeah, 56 going over to 57.
Okay. My SDK,
So yeah,
I think is my SDK is off a little bit. Am I not? Okay, I am live. Yeah,
yeah.
SDK is
So we
showing
should
me
say
we're
we
going
should go
about to
one
go
to
to
go
56.
here. Yeah, I would say we should be getting the one to go here for lap 57. So we'll go back to green flag racing at lap 58. So yeah, we'll have 23 laps left to go. Yeah, I don't. I think everybody's going to be good to go to the end of this thing by now.
Yeah, and everyone just pit, so everyone should have enough if we run into an overtime situation.
Yeah, I think should definitely be enough fuel
I think they get
for Green-White
about
Checker
30,
here.
35, I want to say, is what Daytona trucks run at 100% fuel. I think.
Yeah, let's see, we're at 75% fuel capacity.
Oh, they're only at 75.
Yeah.
So that might only be getting about
So 20,
28, 29.
28. Yeah, I was gonna say. I still think they'll be good to go to the end here.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to be burning up too much. So interesting to see if we're right on that estimate. They're kind of right on that cusp of having enough fuel. Curious to see if maybe Kensley Smith and Ryan Warp maybe shuffle through the pack a little bit there. Maybe trade off with Richard Ode and Aaron Roth just to save some fuel. If they need to.
Yeah. So I'm trying to look right now. Looks like Troy is still going here. He's only a lap down. So it must be
My trading piece.
he is either just he's either just getting some damage repaired as he goes, or he still did have that fast repair. So the 88, not exactly out of it yet.
Oh, maybe it was tire smoke I saw. Maybe he had some wheel damage.
See, Kirby's still going strong, even though he's been through everything tonight and more.
Amazing that truck is still in one piece.
Green flag.
Yeah, yeah. All right, Ryan Wart bringing us back to green flag here.
Yeah, unfortunately, we did not get any updates on how much fuel they got.
Yeah, the person that usually relays that information was slacking a little bit today.
I can't really say slacking. He was
Now he's trying to find a producer.
preoccupied with
Yeah,
some
I
other
was saying
things.
preoccupied with trying to get a producer here tonight.
And I was like, well, I got SDK, and then I was like, I just need our intro video and a stream key, and I can handle the rest.
Yeah,
make it work for the night.
Make it work. That's all we gotta do.
Yeah, just as I expected. Kensley Smith's kind of hanging there in third place, maybe just making sure he's got that extra little bit he needs when the time comes. Looks like the 11's out. I thought he had some wheel damage. Maybe it was just the way the truck was hopping. That or he did save his fast repair. That is also a possibility. Could be why he pit for a lap. Maybe he had just a tiny bit of damage that he wanted to fix before putting himself a lap down too early, just in case they got not enough cautions to do it.
Yeah, it could be.
'18 is pushing the 57
Like
right up
crazy
to the
with a
lead.
side draft. Oh my goodness.
That was quite the run to see on the outside line after how it's been working tonight.
Absolutely. Like a mix of a strong bumper lock push with a strong side draft that kind of made the 45 of Ryan Warp just a little bit upset. Made his truck just a little upset there. You see him kind of bobble a little bit there, but
got a little wobbly for a moment. That dirty air can do some pretty crazy things to these trucks. I know.
man, it's been crazy since the update, man.
Yeah, even before I've had some pretty interesting moments with it. There's one time we were running too wide. I think we were at Talladega, and I saw a couple of trucks behind me were on in the third lane, so I was like, I kind of want to join that because they're getting a run going. So I go to move up, and I move up just a little bit too late, where when my back spoiler gets in front of, I want to say it was Dennis Kane. Nothing that he did wrong. I just moved up there a little too quick, and the air just
It
took
took the
all
air off
the
the
weight
rear.
off,
Yep.
and I just spun, took out
Been there, done that.
too many people.
Been there, done
Felt
that.
pretty bad for that. That was during the LCQ too. It wasn't even the feature. Ended a couple people's nights before they even got to start it.
Yeah.
Not my finest moment. But I can tell you that I really did not expect that much of a that much of an upset.
Oh no, you never
truck.
do. I mean, yeah, I would say you never really do. It's just like, every time you make that move and then that something like that happens, it's like, what just happened?
That was exactly how I thought. I was like, oh my god, what? I was like, why did my truck just lose control like that?
Yep, I have it happen a lot. Like, I don't understand why that just did that, but okay.
Yeah, I looked back at the replay and I saw how close I was by the time I finally moved up. That the guy behind me, that was the 13 Garcia. Was he? I think he was just coming out of the pits. Yeah, I moved up and he was just getting to where my back bumper was about to be, so he was super close, and it took all the air off. And once I saw that replay, I realized what I did there and why it did what it did. Didn't make me feel any better about it.
Oh yeah, you always feel bad when something like that happens that you don't know what happened, or you see what happened, you're like, man, all right, yeah, that was my fault, But it was just kind of one of those things, like, you just weren't expecting it. I mean, that happens to me quite often.
Yeah, it'll definitely catch you off guard. Gotten a
Absolutely.
lot more used to it after racing the Gen 4s this whole season. I think that's the car, if any that I've driven, I feel dirty air the absolute most. Someone's on your
those
spoiler
cars
coming
are-
out of the turn, and all that thing wants to do is just spin.
Yeah, I'll say those things have got so much horsepower. They're insane.
Yeah, them things are pretty quick. I think it was our first race of the season. We were at Auto Club, and even coming through the tri-oval, you're pushing just about 200 miles an hour before you enter turn one.
Yeah, a little bit
Side draft in there.
a little bit loose, a little bit sideways.
Oh yeah, them things, they get crazy quick. You got to be ready. Speaking of horsepower, though, tonight, I think we forgot to mention they're running 110% horsepower, so they have these trucks a little beefed up, which I think is also contributing to a couple of the instances where people might be getting loose or getting a little wobbly or squirrely at times.
Yeah, I completely forgot all about that. Yeah, running 110% horsepower, adding a little bit of nitrous to these trucks here tonight, giving these guys a little extra horsepower to play around with, and yeah, very well could be.
Yeah,
a little bit of the causing factor of this little wiggles here or there, back and forth. And
yeah, it definitely changes the game. I mean, you got to figure these guys race the trucks pretty consistently. A good handful of these guys, I think, race them. Or at least a few of them race them every week, in the truck races on Tuesdays. So, you're getting in, you're expecting something completely different than what you're actually driving.
Yeah. Yep.
Especially like you mentioned before, the draft package, how much that affects the aero and clean versus dirty air. Yeah, add in extra horsepower with that, and it's no surprise that these trucks are pretty easy to upset.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, as I said, I completely forgot about that. That they had to pull up, and the drivers decided they wanted 10 extra horsepower, so said, all right, let's have at it, boys.
Yeah, I think it added, I think Andrew broke down the numbers for us. Let me double check.
I think he said something about like 7 miles an hour on a solo run.
Yeah, it was like 7 miles an hour faster. I thought he said an exact horsepower, or an idea of horsepower difference. Maybe in here. They opted for the 110% increase. I don't think we have an exact number for it.
Yeah, just did a little horsepower test. 110% gives you about 7 mile an hour more down the straight as a single car.
Yeah, which, I mean, you go 7 miles an hour faster than these things naturally do. That's definitely a good chunk of extra horsepower.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, in the draft, these guys are, between 180 and 190. So
and that's with the normal horsepower.
Yeah, that's just normal horsepower. So, if they're 7 miles an hour on a solo, not really sure what it is in the pack, but yeah, it could be 190 plus right now.
I think solo, the trucks can run.
So let's see
pushing 180, 185 on the normal package.
I was gonna say I'm riding right now with Ryan Warp, who's kind of in the middle of a little bit of a group, and right now he's running just shy of 190. About 186 here through this corner.
All right, I might have been thinking of the draft number then. There we go. There's Ryan Warp.
Right
Could
here,
not find him.
Straightaway is 187.
Oh, yeah, Dash doesn't have
188. About 188 going into the corner right there.
That is fast.
Yeah, as I said, I think it's I think it was closer to the 180 mark. So yeah, I mean maybe about 7 miles an hour difference. 7 mile an hour faster.
The trucks might be about 175 by themselves. I might have been thinking of the
Yeah, I think solo runs, I want to say it's like 172, 173, somewhere in there. I run the trucks quite a bit in another series, and I run officials, so I want to say,
Gotcha.
Yeah, I want to say it's like maybe 172, 173 at Daytona, Talladega, solo. So that puts you close to 180 solo.
Yeah, I think they run them. I think it's the next gens were running close to 180 by themselves, or just over 180. Because I know they're usually pushing 190, low 190s. I think in the draft.
Yep. What do we got going here?
Everyone's kind of
10 to go. Let's say we got 10 to go here. Kensley Smith back to the lead. Richard Oder on second. Andrew Tefton third. Blake Viken, who was leading there a little while ago, running fourth. Aaron Ross still holding strong in fifth. Still guys just running that bottom line. A couple of guys. Whoa, Jonathan Stidham just taking it 3 wide back here a little bit.
He's
decided to shoot this gap, and now he's going to get turned.
No.
Whoa, hold on to
They're
it.
saving it. Oh, and he's on the wall.
And that's not going to draw a caution either because it's a solo deal here.
Yeah, he. Oh,
and it did bring a caution. Oh,
that's because Barry Nelson just got sideways. Everyone's still getting kind of back into. Oh, I see what happened. He was stuck on the apron.
Stuck on the apron, got sideways.
Yep. That apron is dangerous. Almost in the Kirby Wainscott again.
Kirby.
Poor Kirby cannot catch a break tonight. He has.
See, Kirby is still on the lead lap, so I'm telling you right now, if he manages a podium, I can't wait to ask him about all these wrecks that he's avoided. Well, the ones that he's been a part of and then avoided since being part of the two.
Yeah, since finally getting his truck back into raceable order.
Yeah. Needed a new fire suit after he went upside down. He needed a new fire suit after he went upside down, or almost went upside down for a second time. Needed a third fire suit when he got
when he
barely
thread the needle and brushed against the 11.
Yeah, he's out about his 4th fire suit now.
he might need a 5th because I mean the angle might not have made it look too bad, but I think he's definitely close enough to Barry shooting down the track that I think it would have caught him off guard. Would have caught me off guard. Then again, I only get the race with a single screen, so I can really only see what's going on in front of me. So when someone comes flying in from a left or a right, it tends to catch me off guard a little bit. Definitely startling.
Let's see if we're gonna have any takers for pit road here. This could be an interesting
I'd be surprised.
call, but I would
to
be.
see
Yeah, I was
pit
just gonna say
road.
I don't see. Well, Kinsley gonna fake it.
Nah, yeah, he's gonna fake
Blake
it.
Veecken. Oh, Blake Veecken. Ryan Warp coming down. Kirby coming down. Couple of takers here.
Who else is that? We got James Foster, Jonathan Stidham. I expected to come down. He took a decent hit there.
Yeah, he had a big
Barry
ball.
Nelson, I think Toad. He might have blown his motor. He could be out. He does have a meatball flag. I think he is out. Out for the night. So Barry Nelson, Troy Thomas, Alan Bergen, Terry Fennell, and Matt Metler all had to call the race a little early. We didn't mention that prior. And Steve Sizemore. We did talk about that.
Yeah. Yeah, slowly but surely we're losing drivers here.
I don't know why the cams aren't working properly on pit road there. For some reason, it keeps facing us outside of
the
pit
backside
road
of the
from
wall.
like
Yeah.
the entrance of turn 1.
Could just be the way that the camera is positioned. Maybe just a little adjustment or something.
Yeah, something's a little funky with that.
Like Robert Garcia is going to grab the lucky dog here.
Okay,
That will
I thought
put
that was a
him
different
back
camera.
on the lead lap.
So we have
Yeah,
everybody
16
that's
drivers.
still in the race on the lead lap right now. Kirby Wainscott is still in the pits. Nope, does not want to. There we go. Spotter cam works.
There we go, spotter. Yep.
Something was bound to work for pit road. Yeah, he is sitting there.
Steve Sizemore's still sitting there too with his blown motor.
Yeah, he might have just completely forgot he had his thing going.
Yeah, maybe he just thought he quit without actually fully quitting, and
Yeah, it's a possibility.
yeah, he'll get
comes-
kicked out when the race timer hits 0.
Here comes Kirby Wainscott leaving pit road. Wonder if no, I didn't see him get touched by anything. Maybe he still had a little bit of damage to take care of from prior incidents.
Could very well be.
Getting out just in time to beat the pace truck.
Maybe he was changing his fire suit again.
Good possibility. I know I would be.
Let's say Simpson is going to make a lot of money off of him this week with all the fire suits they're going to have to replace.
Got Kensley Smith and Richard Ode bringing them back to the green flag this time around. Kensley told me earlier to refresh paints. I think because he was running Home Depot paint, or it could be wrong. Could be not popping up with the right paint. I think that's the one he wanted to.
Yeah, no,
I'm pretty
I
sure he
think,
runs. Pretty
I
sure
was
he's
gonna say,
running a
'cause
different one on Tuesday.
Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing the same thing on my computer, on my PC. Every paint scheme that I'm seeing on the broadcast is what I'm seeing on my screen. So I think maybe Kensley just forgot to either change the paint or something. Maybe he needs to refresh training paints.
Possibility. That, or he wanted to make sure that we saw something other than his Napa sponsored truck tonight.
Yeah, it could be.
I feel like just about everything I've seen him race has always been a Napa. Could be wrong. I think I might have seen him in a different branded vehicle at some point, but I can't remember what or when. Been a long time.
Green, green, green.
Andrew Teff saying almost in the back bumper at Kensley Smith there. He got a really good jump with the leader. Richard Ode's going to drop into the bottom line. Aaron Roth and Joseph Bonner are going to stay high side. Oh, spoke too soon. Maybe? Yeah, Joseph Bonner is going to drop down to the bottom line also.
State Truth Hogan at 55, still running right there. P5 got caught up in a couple of little things earlier on, but still kind of holding strong there at P5. We got Joseph Bonner right out of his bumper here. 5 to go.
And this is where they're going to start getting a little more risky. I feel like they've been pretty risky all night.
Yeah, they've been moving around most of the race here, so.
A couple people keep poking out, thinking about that high line.
I was gonna say, I mean, I haven't seen enough of the high line to feel confident with making a move to that outside, trying to make something happen.
Yeah, it's definitely got to be a group of people that that you really trust if you're gonna make that move now.
I mean, I think the only one that might be able to do something might be Andrew Teft in the 98. If he were to work himself back off the bumper at Kensley just a little bit, get a push from Richard Ode, get a really good run, he may be able to make the run on the last lap coming out of turn 4.
Yeah, it's definitely a possibility.
I just you know, as a solo truck, but I haven't seen enough out of that top lane to be confident. They're trying to make something happen here, but
there goes quite a few of them shuffling around.
Kensley going up to block the run up top. Richard O going to try to make a third lane.
Well, he's just going to ride right on around the outside of Kenzie Smith there.
Yeah, he got a pretty good run there.
Quite the run. And there's Kirby Wainscott right there. Just almost.
Come on, Kirby. We want to ask you some questions.
After everything that's happened tonight.
Oh, got one in the wall.
Oh, we're going to have an
Robert
overtime
Garcia.
finish tonight.
Robert Garcia
oh, and
got a
Joseph
little
Bonner.
bit of the hook. Joseph Bonner. James Foster, the 9. Got the meatball.
Meatball on the 11 as well.
Yep.
See if we can get a good... So we go 13, kind of dives down, gets a little upset, hooks himself on the 11. Takes...
Yeah, it looks like he
himself
went
in the
down
11 just into the wall.
Tried to come back up to stay out of the 55, and by the time he did, the 11 was already at his bumper and gave him a really bad shot and hooked him.
Yeah, oh, I didn't go back far enough there.
Yeah, it just wasn't quite
Let
clear
me
to come
see.
back up. Bonner was there, and
we go slow motion for a quick moment so I can find maybe a decent... Oh, that's gearbox, roll bar. Oh, I'm on the 13 I wanted. Oh, yep, there it is. Maybe just a little bit of a rough push. Wow. Kind of sends him down track and then right back up into his bumper. That is definitely not what you wanted to see in these closing laps.
no, not at all.
Get caught back up to live and see if anybody maybe takes a shot at coming down for either fuel or repairs with this overtime. I mean, if I'm Kirby Wainscott, even though I'm damaged, you know, I just sat there, did a bunch of repairs. I finally made my way back up.
Yeah, I'm staying out. I'm staying out. I'm going
sitting fourth.
Everything I've been through the night.
I
would say everything I've been through tonight. If I could pull off a win after being upside down, almost upside down, threading the needle, after the race I had tonight, if I could still have a shot at a win, I am staying out and I'm trying to take this win.
Yeah, because I mean, looking at the truck, it looks like he might. I mean, it looks fine. I don't think I see any extra damage. Gonna duck below the line, but he's not gonna commit. All right. I didn't think he would. I was kind of hoping he would. It has been quite the race tonight. A lot more cautions than I think I anticipated. I don't know
Yeah.
about you.
Yeah, I was the same way. I figured, we had 21 trucks here. It was Daytona. They were going to ride around, and I figured he would either go caution free, maybe have one. But that was with the negligence of forgetting the 110 horsepower and what the difference there might be making here tonight. And yeah, it's just kind of been a little more chaotic than what we're used to seeing. I think maybe that additional horsepower giving these guys runs that they're not used to getting and being able to anticipate it is what's been causing a little bit of the problem, I think.
Yeah, I think that extra horsepower definitely is playing a pretty big role in some of these upset trucks. Lights are still on, so we got one more caution lap.
Yeah, we should
Where
be
we go
coming
to
to one to go
overtime.
here. Or one to green here, so what do we got here in this series? We got 3 attempts at a Green-White-Checkered. So this may not be the only one that we take here.
It all depends on if that leader gets to that white flag before someone goes
Yep.
spinning sideways.
Yep, that's the thing right now. Let's see the white flag and then have at it, boys.
Rack them up and try again. Ooh, man, if I'm Kirby or Kensley, I'm feeling pretty happy because you got both Kirby and Kensley together on the outside line to start this restart in overtime.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then you got Jonathan Sidham and Truth Oak right behind you. It's a pretty good 4-truck lineup.
Yeah, unfortunately for Truth, I think he is the last remaining driver from the Misfits team to be out there. So I don't think he's really got any help teammate wise out there right now. So
No, but I do know he's a pretty friendly guy. Not too fond of making enemies,
yeah.
so I'm sure he'll have some help that he'll need. I think that's Blake Beacon right behind him. It is indeed. We've got the 6 up Brett Bray to end up top line. Bottom line, we got Richard Ode bringing him to the green. Aaron Roth right behind him. Andrew Teft, 3rd truck in. Austin Sale, 4th truck. Got pretty good drivers all ready to go. Make this overtime restart pretty interesting to watch.
Have to see if they're gonna be able to make it back to the white flag, or we're gonna take multiple attempts here at this and finishing this thing. But Richard Ode, Kensley Smith bringing them back to the green flag.
Not quite the jump I think Richard Ode was hoping for. Kensley Smith is already going to clear his front bumper to take the lead momentarily.
Yeah, I was going to say they're a little bit more formed up on the bottom than the top, but Jonathan Stidham may get a run here and push it 3 wide. We'll have to see if they do it now or wait until they take the white flag, but Kirby Wainscott pushing the crap out of Kensley right now. Kirby wants at least this podium. We want him to get the podium just so we can talk to him about all the incidents that he's seen tonight.
Yeah, we've definitely got some questions for that driver. Kensley Smith's
now he's kind of hung mired out on the bottom. Kensley Smith going to see the white flag. 1 lap to go.
Ooh.
This is going to end it. Jonathan Stidham holds on to it.
Oh, and there goes the 7-11.
Oh, wrecking in the back. Truth Hope.
Oh, Kirby
Truth
Rain
is
Scott.
upside down.
And now it is between two drivers, Kensley Smith and Jonathan Sidham.
Kensley Smith.
Kensley Smith's going to bring home the win tonight. I thought Jonathan might have been able to get a little bit of a run there off of the draft from Kensley, but it didn't look like he got it coming out of 3 and 4.
Yeah, I don't know if he would have taken the run even if he had it, but I mean, I would have for sure. But
I definitely would have at least tried.
I was gonna say, I know when he picked up his win there, he a couple weeks ago picked up his first race's elite win, and he had said something about he was perfectly content with following Kensley and pushing Kensley, and then Kensley ended up getting wrecked, and he parted the seas and picked up his first win. And
yeah, it's got to feel good to catch a win in the second race of the chase. Trying to find my podium button.
Yeah, I want to see really quick here. Just want to verify something here before let's see here. That's what I thought. So this is the second race of the chase. I wanted to verify because, I mean, it's been a week and a lot of things go on in a week. But Kensley going back to back, the first 2 races, won last week at Echo Park and then winning again here tonight at Daytona. Undefeated so far in the first 2 races of the chase here.
Yeah, that's got to feel amazing to put quite the lead on the rest of the chase drivers with only 2 more races coming up to end it out.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna swear up and down that he picked up the win there last week, but I wanted to verify it before I said it and find out that he didn't. But yeah, and he got the job done. And he got the job done last night in the Gen 4 series. So this is 2 nights in a row with Kensley's in victory lane.
Oh, he did win last night. Yeah, he killed it last night at Phoenix.
Absolutely.
I might be missing one of my buttons. Can't seem to find my podium button here. Compact results. So we can show our top 10. Finishing in the first spot, we've got Kensley Smith in the 15. Coming in second, we got Jonathan Sidham in the 42. And then third, Aaron Roth in the 57. That's going to round out our top 3. Fourth, we've got Richard Ode. And fifth, we've got Andrew Teff. That's our top 5. And we've got Blake Viken, Ryan Warp, Robert Garcia, Kirby Wainscott, and Austin Sale to round out the top 10. Trevor Fettig, Truth Hoke, Brett Ray. Why is my thing set to... Sorry. That's kind of a pain. James Foster, Joe Bonner, Barry Nelson, Troy Thomas, Alan Bergen, Terry Fennell, Matt Metler, and then Steve Sizemore will round out the rest of the field. That's 10th through 21st. All right, let's get ready to start pulling everybody up here. You can pull them when you're ready and when they're there. I'm going to see if I can find some type of...
We got, So we got Aaron Roth waiting. So why don't we bring him in? He was our third place finisher.
Works out pretty perfect there.
Aaron, it's Josh and Russ up here in the booth. You got us? Aaron Roth, it's Josh and Russ up in the booth. You got a copy?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
There
I
it is.
had my
There you go. You were
I
muted.
had
That's
my
it.
Discord. I was talking to my chat. Okay.
No, you're good, man.
All
Hey,
right.
pretty solid night all night long for you. I saw we saw you up front pretty much most of the race. Coming home P3 tonight. Why don't you just take us back through your race and tell us what you were seeing tonight?
I don't remember anything. No. We started up front. I think we stayed up front the whole night. And just stayed out of trouble. He was working with Richard Ode, Kinsley for a little bit, and was trying to work with the 11 and 42, but we never got together much. And yeah, I don't know. I missed that big wreck at the beginning. Missed that, so we just stayed out of trouble and was there at the end. And then when I went 3 wide at the end, I pushed off the corner. I didn't mean to do that. And I said, oh, wait, this might work. So it got us up to third. So,
Well, hey, I mean, you take the mistake that gives you up there to third, and
yeah, that's the first time it pushed off the corner and just pushed so bad. And it's like, oh, okay, we're here.
that's it. I mean, hey, so one of the things we were talking about tonight was this is the first night that we've ran with 110% horsepower. How much different did these trucks run tonight with that added 10% horsepower?
I think it was a lot better. I think just in the draft, it didn't feel like you lost a whole lot. You could stay up with people. You could stay up with another truck better, and then the outside lanes seemed to go better. It just seemed better all around.
I was saying we were just kind of curious because it looked like maybe the added horsepower was giving the trucks a little bit of fits. We kept seeing guys kind of up and getting up and down and kind of moving around just a little bit more than what we were used to seeing. So we thought maybe it was attributed to that extra horsepower.
Yeah, they didn't feel sluggish or anything. It felt like you could just go.
Right on. Maybe we need to run 110% every week.
I think so. I like it. Yeah. More horsepower, the better. I mean, that's just how it is.
There you go. All right, man. Well, solid run for you here tonight, bringing it home P3. Josh, you got anything for him before we let him give his shout outs?
No, go right on.
Yeah, well, I had to miss last week, so this was a good points race for us. So, but yeah, I just like to thank my Chaos crew, which is my Twitch community, and thank you guys and Andrew for putting it on. You guys always do a great job with the broadcast. And everybody watching. We'll see you next week.
All right, man. Well, congrats again on the P3, and hopefully we'll be talking to you again. I think we're off next week, and then we go to iRacing Superspeedway. So maybe we'll get a chance to talk to you at that weird track. Yeah.
Oh, 2 weeks. All right.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
That'll be a fun
All right, man.
one.
Have a good one. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right.
Let's see. I saw John down here, but it looks like he left. So we might not be able to get a word in with John. So why don't we just go ahead and pull in our race winner, Kinsley Smith. Kinsley, it's Russ and Josh up here in the booth. You got us?
I do.
Man, I'm getting tired of talking to you every night.
I'm getting tired of talking to you.
Heck yeah, brother. They had a solid run all night long. You're just kind of like last night. Just a solid night. You're just kind of staying up front all night long. You might have fell back about mid-pack once or twice, but able to get that run back up front. Just take us back through your race here again tonight. I mean, there's 2 nights in a row talking to you in Victory Lane, back-to-back weeks, picking up the win to open this chase off for the Superspeedway series. So, yeah, I mean, just take us back through the race and tell us what you were seeing out there.
Just a bunch of chaos. That's all I really saw. Just choosing my holes wisely and choosing my runs the way I always do. Just trying to keep it safe and um, just get out front really. Um, Seems like especially in super speedway series, it's kind of like you get out front and you can kind of miss everything and stay out of trouble. So I didn't qualify, so I started in the back. So I just needed to get up front as quick as I could. And I think that first caution I was in like ninth or tenth, and when the wreck happened, I came out of the wreck in second. So that kind of gave me a huge help in getting to the front. So, but all in all, it worked out pretty well tonight. Last lap was pretty stressful. I know it wasn't intentional. Stidham almost turned me up into the outside wall, coming through the tri-oval, coming to the white flag. So was able to survive that and just keep on going.
Like I said, back-to-back weeks bringing home the win, but this was kind of a little bit of a unique race compared to last week because this is the first time that we've ran with 110% horsepower, and this is something we had asked Aaron just a little bit ago. What kind of differences did you notice out there with that 10 extra horsepower that we had in the trucks here tonight?
I was in the call with Andrew, and wasn't was it the last restart? I think it was the last restart. No, the restart before that. Andrew actually spun tires, um, coming to the restart. So
Oh,
that was probably like a first time thing. But I mean, it wasn't a huge difference. There was definitely more speed in the cars and stuff like that. Coming on the restarts, you could kind of get up to speed a lot quicker and build your runs a lot quicker. I felt like you were able to like actually time your runs a lot better with a little bit more speed, and um, that's kind of one of the things with these trucks. Your runs are kind of slow, and you just kind of have to like really inch and claw your way to the front. But with that little bit extra horsepower, just picked up. I think it was like 7-8 miles per hour of speed, and it just felt like once you got behind somebody, it was kind of just easy sailing, pulling up to them with the draft and stuff like that. Yeah, it wasn't a huge difference, but it definitely made it a lot easier.
Well, I was gonna say with the new draft package, before we went to the 110 horsepower, I mean, these things would kind of they kind of reacted just a little bit different than what we were used to. Did it kind of put it back to about where it used to be before this new draft package came into play this season?
Uh, Kinda. It wasn't completely back to the way it used to be, but it's getting there. Um, I think maybe I don't know if 110 is as high as you can go with it, but I think if we added a little bit more, it would help it a lot to build runs and build momentum and stuff like that.
Well, definitely an interesting thing to try out here tonight, and maybe they'll do it for the rest of the playoffs. But again, man, solid night. Another win for you, and back to back to open the chase off. Obviously, you're gonna have the week off there next week, and then go to the super fun iRacing Super Speedway. What are your thoughts about that one?
That's what I feel like that race is going to be. Just a bunch of carnage, especially going into three with that huge dip and with most of the cars like to shoot up the track a little bit and sometimes get loose. So just do some practice and see what works. And I mean, if if I just have to run the top to be able to finish the race next week, because I think after this race I'm 20 points ahead of Andrew in the standing. So if I just have to play a safe race and run it hard on the last race, then I'll do that. But yeah, kind of in the same position as last year when I won the championship. Andrew right behind me in points and trying to chase me down. So if I just come into this with the same mindset as last year, I should be able to come out with a championship.
Well, you're definitely the favorite for that, and no surprise with all of your success here at these super speedways. But yeah, I mean, just another solid run, another win for you. So we'll go ahead and turn it over to you, man. Let you give your shout outs again.
Of course, you guys in the booth. As always, sure it's a fun one to watch. So I'm gonna go back and rewatch it right after I get off here with you guys. Thank you guys for always doing these broadcasts. And Josh, I know you're new at doing our broadcast, but I'm pretty sure you had fun watching this one tonight. So
Oh,
but
definitely.
thank you for sure, Josh. Um, I think it was last minute too, so
It
definitely
was.
thank you, Josh.
Yeah, not a problem,
Um,
man.
and of course, Andrew, as always, giving us a safe place to race, and we all get on each other's nerves all the time and bicker and argue, and you did this wrong, you did this, blah blah blah. But this is a really good place to race, and every guy in here, I know for sure is grateful for what Andrew does for us every week and all the races that he puts on for us. Of course, my wife and my daughter taking time away from them on this Friday night. I'm sure they'll have fun watching this one too, with me winning it. So
Hopefully, we'll get a chance to talk to you again in 2 weeks at iRacing Super Speedway, and see if you can continue this reign of dominance.
thank you.
All right, buddy.
Alrighty.
That was I say that was race winner Kensley Smith again, man. Back-to-back weeks of the Super Speedway series. I mean, it's hard enough to you know to finish these Super Speedway races, let alone win two
I was gonna say
back-to-back
win
weeks like
2 back to
that.
back is
Yeah, I mean,
crazy.
yep. But everybody that knows races elite, knows Kensley's one of the top dogs in Super Speedway racing. Definitely the overall odds-on favorite from race one of the season to win the championship. And like I said, sweeping the first two races of these playoffs. This chase format here definitely speaks volumes.
Yeah, it does. I mean, super speedway racing to me is definitely a bit of a gamble, but it definitely takes a little bit of skill too to kind of read the drafts, pay attention to what's going on. You got to manage your fuel. You definitely got to strategize. So it takes a lot to to come and win back to back, and then on top of that, win in other series throughout the week too. But let's go ahead and take a look at our final results. I did list off everybody's finishing position, but let's take a look at our hard charger, who was our race winner, Kensley Smith, up by 16 positions. He started near the back. Our most laps led, also Kensley Smith. He led 29 laps tonight. We had quite a few different lead changes. We had 13 with 9 different leaders. Fastest lap, also Kensley Smith. My man was on fire tonight. 6
This thing's
cautions.
lit up by Kensley Smith.
Yeah, it is. 6 cautions, and our pole position qualifier was Ryan Warp. So, quite the race. Total of 83 laps, including our overtime restart that we had. So, anything you got left?
No, man. I mean, it was just, like I said, it was kind of a wild race. I mean, to see Kirby go over one time, almost two times, thread that needle. I mean, he had a heck of an interesting race. I would have loved the chance to talk to him post race there, but definitely a little bit more chaotic than what I guess I anticipated. But I think like Kensley said, I think 2 weeks we go to iRacing Super Speedway, and that track is it's not a real life track. It's track that's built by iRacing, and it anytime I mean, it's been a long time since I've ran on iRacing Super Speedway, but anytime that I have, it has been known to be very chaotic. Um, so I'm really looking forward to seeing what these guys are going to do in 2 weeks at the iRacing Super Speedway for race 3. So yeah, other than that, for me, it's just another fun night here with the Super Speedway series. I'm looking forward to getting back here in 2 weeks.
All right. Well, with that, we wrap up the race tonight. Thank you guys for joining us. Check us out on the Racers Elite Network, and have a good night.